Welcome guys, this is Alco1093 and we are here with deck profile number 4. I have been asked to make a deck profile video for the Red-Eyes Horus Lockdown deck. I haven't used this deck in a while, can't exactly remember what duel it was that I last used it in, and to be very honest, since then I haven't used it anymore. So there might be a few combos that I myself have forgotten because I just haven't played it since the last duel video. But I'll try to give you a good enough idea of what works. Alright. Deck is over here. As you can see, I never really completed it. I built the deck, put some good Xyz monsters in, and just put some other Xyz monsters in the side deck that might work. But that's really all I did at the time, so it can definitely be improved. The whole deck, as you can hear, it's a Red-Eyes Horus Lockdown, so it's locking down your opponents. Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 8 is the Horus part of the lockdown because you can negate the activation and effect of any spell card and you can destroy them. It's not a cost, you can activate multiple times in a chain, and it's really helpful. And Red-Eyes Wyvern and Red-Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon are also really helpful at getting stuff going. So, yeah, that's why it's there. Alright, I have a decoy dragon in this deck. Definitely not a strong dragon, but when that card is face up on the field and it's targeted for an attack, you can select a level 7 or higher dragon type from your graveyard. So that can be any of my level 7 or higher dragon types. So, this one can't. Darkness Metal, Tyrant Dragon, or Dragonic Knight. And you can special summon that monster from the graveyard, and then that new monster becomes the attack target. So decoy dragon won't be damaged, and the opponent will be very careful with attacking decoy dragon if they know a level 7 or higher dragon is in your graveyard. Now I have one copy of Dragonic Knight. I can remember that just before I built this deck I just heard of this card for the first time. It was actually quite helpful. I'll read its effect to you because I can't exactly remember what it does really. When the effect of an opponent's monster is activated that targets and destroys a card or multiple cards you control, you can send the targeted card or cards to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. So, Bottomless Trap Hole, that is a card that targets and destroys. Dimensional Prison won't work. It targets but it doesn't destroy. Same with like Book of Moon. It has to target and destroy. Sakuretsu Armor, that's another example of this. But yeah, when the opponent activates such a card, let's say they use it on Red-Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, I don't really want him destroyed, but yeah, he's gonna leave the field anyway because of the card, so I'll tribute Red-Eyes Darkness Metal in that case, and then special summon Dragonic Knight. And because the target for whatever card the opponent used is gone, Dragonic Knight will be safe, and I'll still have a really strong monster on my side of the field. I have two copies of Lavalval Druidnica because I wanted another level 4 dragon, which was very strong, but I didn't want an effect. And when Lavalval Druidnica destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, damage is inflicted equal to the level of the destroyed monster times 200. Sorry, apparently I'm very sleepy. I did actually sleep a lot last night. Weird. Anyway, I have two copies of Red-Eyes Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 4. Control of the card cannot switch, and when it destroys a monster by battle, during the end phase you can send this card to the graveyard and special summon its evolution, Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 6, from your hand or your deck, which I have here. Level 6 is unaffected by any spell cards, so also your own. That is definitely to be noted, so that you can't power up yourself with any spell cards. But this effect is only active on the field, so you can actually use a card like Cost Down on it while it's still in your hand. And just like with level 4, when level 6 destroys an opponent's monster by battle during the end phase, you can send it to the graveyard to special summon Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 8 from your hand or deck. And that card can negate the activation and effect of any spells and destroy them. But you can only summon this guy through the effect of level 6. And the reason I have 2 of level 4, 2 of level 8, and 3 of level 6 is because I wanted at least 2 of all of them. But with the decent amount of monsters that I can normal summon and my different ways of special summoning, like with or summoning with less costs, like cost down, and I can also use level up to get level 6 out quicker. So 3 works in this deck. I have 2 copies of Mirage Dragon, and when Mirage Dragon is face up on the field, the opponent cannot use any trap card during the battle phase. I have 1 copy of Prime Material Dragon. Ever since I found out about this card's existence, it's been one of my favorite dragons, because any effect that would damage a player instead increases their life points by the same amount. So when the opponent comes in with like a burn deck, you can just bring out Prime Material Dragon, and then Prime Material Dragon will change that damage into life point gain. So let's say they come with Secret Barrel inflicting 1200, and then they chain just desserts for 1500, but they forget that you have Prime Material Dragon on the field. You'll, instead of losing 2700, you'll gain 2700. So if you want to counter for burn decks, this is the guy. The only thing I have to watch out is with Grunica and Prime Material Dragon on the field at the same time, because then Grunica will actually heal the opponent. So that's something I have to watch out for. And something else that is useful for, I'm sorry again, I can't exactly remember all of the effects since I haven't played the deck in a while, so I'll just read it off from here. During either player's turn, when a spell, trap, effect, or effect monster's effect is activated that would destroy a monster or monsters on the field, you can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, negate the activation, and destroy it. So any card that would destroy a spell card or trap card, and even like a face-up continuous spell or trap that activates its effect to destroy, that can also be negated, because Prime Material Dragon, just like Stardust Dragon, also states spell, trap, effect. And also effect monsters' effects can also work. You just send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, negate the activation, and destroy it. So that's pretty much a magic jammer, only then in monster form, and it works on everything that destroys and not just spells. I have 2 copies of Red-Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. You guys should all know what this guy does. Super strong dragon. I have a feeling it will get hit on the next ban list. I personally think semi-limited, might even be limited. I'll see. But yeah, this guy's, if you're running a dragon deck, this guy's pretty much a must. And seeing as Red-Eyes Wyvern can definitely help with that, because especially if I have Future Fusion, because and Red-Eyes Wyvern is in the graveyard during your end phase, and you haven't normal summoned or set yet that turn. You can special summon all you want, but you just have to make sure you haven't normal summoned or set that turn yet. You can banish it from the graveyard to special summon a Red-Eyes monster from your graveyard, except Red-Eyes Black Chick. So you can summon another Red-Eyes Wyvern from your graveyard, but usually you'll want to special summon Red-Eyes Darkness Metal. And then next turn you can use Darkness Metal to bring out another dragon. And finally, I have 2 copies of Tyrant Dragon. And Tyrant Dragon's effects. During your battle phase, if your opponent controls a monster, after this card's first attack, this card can attack once again. So if the opponent has multiple monsters, you get 2 attacks with Tyrant Dragon. Also, negate the effect of any trap card that targets this card and destroy it. So Sakuretsu Armor, Bottomless Trample, not going to work on it since they target him, so Tyrant Dragon will just negate and destroy that. And if this card is special summoned from the graveyard by another card's effect, you must tribute a dragon type monster. So you actually don't want to summon Tyrant Dragon with Red-Eyes Darkness Metal, because then Tyrant Dragon's effect will kick in and you'll have to tribute a dragon, meaning either it or Darkness Metal. If you have like Decoy Dragon on the field or Flammable Grunica, well then I can understand, because then you can just tribute one of those. But usually you don't want to summon him with Red-Eyes Darkness Metal. Spell-wise, I have 1 copy of Cost Down. You discard 1 card, and all monsters in your hand Their levels are reduced by 2 until the end phase, so you can then actually normal summon this guy, normal summon Prime Material Dragon, summon Dragonic Knight and Tyrant Dragon with only 1 tribute, same with Red-Eyes Darkness Metal. Although Red-Eyes Darkness Metal, I usually go for the banishing and then special summoning, the inherent summon special effect. I have 1 copy of Darkhold to destroy everything. Should be clear why. 2 copies of Dragon's Mirror. I actually run 3 5-headed dragons, and you can get 5 dragons in the graveyard quite quickly. So with 1 Dragon's Mirror, boom, immediate 5-headed dragon. Might not have any real special effects that you can take that much advantage of, because it won't be destroyed by battle easily anyway. But it's still a 5,000 attack point beater, so better watch out for it. 2 copies of Fissure to destroy monsters. Might change this for Smashing Ground, but as I said, I built this deck quite a while ago. I haven't really touched it since, so I might change this for Smashing Ground later. And once again, if that happens, I'll put it in an annotation. 1 copy of Foolish Burial to throw something in the graveyard, so maybe a Red-Eyes Wyvern if Darkness Metal is already in there, or the other way around, so I can summon Darkness Metal. Any level 7 or higher dragon, so I can get Decoy Dragon's effect to full use. Things like that. Future Fusion should be clear. You select 5-headed dragon, send 5 dragons to the grave. I usually go for a level 6, both Darkness Metals and both Wyverns, because then both the Wyverns can activate and summon both Darkness Metals, and then I can bring out the big stuff. I have 2 copies of Level Up. You can select 1 level monster on your side of the field and send it to graveyard, and special summon a monster from your hand or your deck, written in the card text of the set monster, and ignoring any and all summoning conditions. So you can select level 4 and bring out level 6, but usually what I do is use it on level 6 so I can bring out level 8 without having to wait a turn. Because that way my spells will actually still work on it, although I don't really have that many spells that work on level 6. But I can negate the opponent's spells whatever I want. And again, with Mirage Dragon, stops the traps, at least in the battle phase, so that works. And Royal Decree will also help with that. I have 1 copy of Lightning Vortex, discarding a card, so you get another dragon in the grave, and you destroy all face-up monsters the opponent controls, will really help. Monster Reborn to revive a monster. My body as a shield, costs 1500 life points, but it will save 1 of your cards from destruction. Pot of Avarice to bring 5 monsters from the graveyard back into the deck and draw 2 cards. Pot of Duality, only 1, so I can get 1 of the top 3 cards from my deck. But I do quite a lot of special summoning, and that is made impossible the turn you play Pot of Duality, so that's why only 1. Soul Exchange, so I can tribute an opponent's monster as a tribute for 1 of my own. It's not used often, but for this deck it works because I have quite a few monsters that require tributes. 2 copies of Stamping Destruction. If you control a dragon type monster, you can select 1 spell or trap card on the field, destroy it, and inflict 500 damage, which is quite helpful. You can get rid of Magic Cylinder, Mirror Force, that kind of stuff. Sword of Revealing Light to stall, Mirror Force to destroy everything, and then Royal Decree in a combo with Horus level 8 to block spells and traps, because Royal Decree blocks all traps. I do have 1 other trap, which is Mirror Force, but I tried to bring that out before I play Royal Decree, and otherwise 1 dead draw, but Mirror Force is very powerful, so I did decide to put it in. In the extra deck I have 3 5-headed dragons, because I have a Future Fusion and 2 Dragon's Mirrors. 1 copy Queen Dragoonjin. That's actually a very useful Xyz monster if you have a couple of level 4s and a lot of dragons, because dragon type monsters you control, except Queen Dragoonjin itself, cannot be destroyed by battle, and once per turn you can detach an Xyz material from the card to target a level 5 or higher dragon type monster in the graveyard and special summon it. So that way you can bring out all your big guys again, but its effects are negated. That is unfortunate, but you can still get a big guy, and it cannot attack the turn it is special summoned by this effect, but it's still good. I have number 39 Utopia, should be clear why. Vylon Disigma to steal an opponent's effect monster, which is in the way. Evil Swarm Ouroboros, mostly for its first effect that can send a card from the opponent back to their hand, and it does have 2750 attack. That's helpful. Number 32 Shark Drake, and I just really like the design of the card and the effect. Heretic Dragon King of a Tomb. I have a few level 6s, these guys, And with a tomb, I can bring out any dragon from my deck, which I'll usually go for Darkness Metal, which can then summon another dragon. I have one copy of Constellar Ptolemy's Messier 7. And just like Evilstorm Ouroboros, I can turn a card, send a card back to the hand. But you can also target a card in the graveyard and return it to the hand. Photon Strike Bouncer, very useful rank 6, because if the opponent activates an effect on their field, you can negate that effect and deal 1,000 damage to them. Gimmick Puppet Giant Killer to destroy special summon monsters, because in the meta these days there's a lot of special summons, and Giant Killer can just destroy all of them. And if it's an Xyz monster, he can even inflict some effect damage. I have Erratic Sun Dragon Overlord of Heliopolis, quite a long name. And this guy can destroy quite a lot of monsters on the field, but you do need to be able to tribute monsters, but usually that works. Well, I'll copy Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon to get this really powerful guy out. I have quite a few level 8, so that is possible. Don't use it all that often, but it's still very powerful. And Superdreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max. Clearly only doable with these two, but 3,000 attack, and it can inflict 2,000 damage once per turn with its effect. And then in the side deck I put Insector Exabeetle, Kachikochi Dragon, Lavalval Chain, Illuminite, although I've never really used Illuminite, Shockmaster, Blackhorn, Utopia Ray, Papal Operative, and Steelstorm Roach. And for the rest, I don't really have anything, so I hope you guys enjoyed watching this deck request. As once again, I'd like to apologize. I haven't used this deck in a while, so I can't really remember all of the combos, exactly how it works, but I remember it working quite well, but not perfectly. You can probably see some things wrong with it. It's not the best competitive deck, and it can definitely be improved, but I never really decided to touch upon it again after the last duel I did with it. Maybe I'll use it once more in the future, but not often. I prefer going with other decks. But yeah, also, whoever made this request, I'm sorry, I forgot who it was. I know you posted it in the comments of one of my videos, but I just can't remember your name. You can probably, if you're watching this, please just say that it was you, and then I'll put it in the title, because I always put it in the title who made the request, but I just forgot to write it down. I always write down who makes a deck request, a duel request, profile request, but I forgot it this time, so I'm sorry for that. But yeah, guys, that was it. There was Alka1993 with deck profile number 4, the Red-Eyes Horus Lockdown deck, and I hope to see you guys later. Bye-bye.